I am in Porus, Manchester. So I'm in the community of Porus in the parish of Manchester. And today I will be exploring the Wesley Methodist Church here in Porus. This church was suggested to me by a subscriber some time ago. I think it's months ago. And this is my time now that I'm going to go and explore this church. It's a very old church. This is the year 2025, and this year the church is 140 years old. That's how old it is. 140-year-old. Right, so I'm over on the road, so the traffic, those big trucks that pass, a lot of noise there. So construction of this church, it began in the year 1881 and completed in 1885. So you can see how long that was. Everybody, generations, 140 years ago, so everybody, the first persons who used to attend the church are no longer around. Anyway, so as I said, the construction of this church started in 1881 and completed in 1885. The land on which the church was built, the land was granted free of charge by a woman named Mary Macpherson. It is said that Mary Macpherson was the aunt of Norman Manley. And when I say Norman Manley, I'm talking the Norman Manley, founder of the People's National Party and the national hero of Jamaica. Mary Macpherson was his aunt. So the aunt of Norman Manley granted the land to build this church. Mary Macpherson was a tavern keeper. Can you imagine back then in the 1880s how this place looked? Anyway, so Mary Macpherson, she was in her 70s at the time, and she was for most of her life a tavern keeper. And she was married to a man called James Macpherson. James Macpherson died before her, and Mary would die. Mary died on August 22, 1883 at age 78. That's just 2 years after she'd granted this land for the church to be built. A lot of trucks are passing here. So let me cross over so I can get out of the traffic. Here we have the sign here. This is the name of the church here. It said Porus Methodist Church. It's a Porus Methodist Church. Don't say the word Wesley on it. But of course it's Wesley Methodist Church here in Porus, aka Porus Methodist Church. So as I was saying, the Mary Macpherson, the lady who gave this land for the church to be built, she died 2 years later on August 22, 1883. So she did not get to live to see the completion of the church. She died at age 78. So we are looking here at a church that is 140-year old. And what is interesting about this is that its connection with the Manleys. So Norman Manley's aunt, she granted the land for the church to be built. And then Norman Manley, when Norman Manley was born, he was christened here. His mother christened him here on September 17, 1893. That was a good move. That move would make this church very, very interesting. I know why. Well, in his early years, Manley was attending this church. Norman Manley, our national hero, he attended this church before his parents, they moved from this area and they went to St. Catherine to live. So Manley was attending this church until about age 10. Yes, age 10. In 1903, his parents, they moved from the church and not moved from the church, moved from the area and went to live in St. Catherine. So Norman Manley being christened at this church would play a significant role. Before we go over to the church, let's explore a little. I see this bell tower. That's what they call it, a bell tower. It's a bell tower. Yes. So you know the Methodist Church, the old churches, they usually have a bell tower. And when the bell rings, you know that church is about to start. So here you have the bell tower. But it no longer rings, as I said. People no longer ring bells at churches. Even at school, when I was younger and attending school, they used to ring bell to say, you know, it's recess time or it's lunch time or things like that. I hardly ring bells anymore. All right, so let's now explore this church. And you can see at the back of the church here, they have a newer building. It's a Porus Wesley Methodist Church multi-purpose center. You can see it's a more modern building. So it's a multi-purpose center here by the church. I don't see anybody here to ask them anything. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and we're gonna explore this church. Go around it, find out, let's find out what we can. The church is built of cut stone. So every stone you see there was done by hand. Look at this. There's cut stones, literal cut stones. And of course, all the workmen who did this have already passed. And the windows, look at the windows. It's called wooden arch windows. I'm not sure. Those look like the original windows. But the stones are definitely original. Nothing has changed about them. The arch windows, they look like they were there from 1885. And it is said that the roof were gable roof. Those are not. This is not the original roof. This is not the original roof at all. There's a photograph I saw, and that's not the original roof. But over time, you know, they have to fix it up and they have to do what they have to do. So, no doubt that you know, you will see some changes. Let me go to the back here. The doors look original, like they were there from the 1880s. These are a lot of stones. A lot of stones here. But the roof, of course, the roofing is look like they'd have changed out everything from the original ones. And look at the things that they use between the stones. You know, so every stone they lay, they put these things. You know, this church was made to last. I think that stone house lasts longer than using blocks. Brick house also lasts longer than using blocks. All right, so let me go up to the front porch here and see what it looks like. Even the steps, you can see they're made up of cut stones. You look, that's a cut stone right there underneath it. The cut stone. So it's a church completely made up of cut stones and wood. These wood they made to last. Look at the inside here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wood. This wood made to last, man. And it is said that the floor is a wooden floor. That's what I read online, but I'm not sure. I'm looking here and I see that the cut stone were used to make the ground, and they covered it with whatever material. But I don't have access to the inside. The church is locked, and there's no one here. But it's wood. I can tell you. I think these were the original from the time the church was built. If you can afford it, I think you should have a house built of cut stone. It takes time, but it's worth it. It lasts generations. I'm looking here on the other side. I'm not sure if I can see inside at some point. Oh, nice chairs inside, but... And as I see this wreath, what left of it, I noticed that there are a lot of funerals. A lot of funerals are held here. Even up till now. Oh, dogs are barking at me. So you can see the arch windows. Alright, so here we have a lot of graves here. Not a lot of graves. So we're gonna find out now who were these people whose graves are here at the church. Again, this video, I'm doing this video on the suggestion of one of my subscribers who told me about this church. This first grave here, you can see it's not here for a long time, but there's nothing on it. We have here an older grave. It was all tiled around. No, not tiled. It was all fenced around with grills, iron. And so like it's a baby grave, but there's nothing on it for me to read. It was well done, but as time went by, those responsible and to keep it up, they probably also passed off. All right, so let's start reading these graves. I'm gonna begin with this grave I see way up here. This grave says, "In fond memory of a dear mother, Caroline A. Ellis, born July 28, 1893, died August 5th, 1979, age 86. May her soul rest in peace." So this is the resting place of Caroline A. Ellis, born July 28, 1893, died August 5, 1979, and she was 86 years old. So this grave is here for pretty much a long time. Beside Caroline is a grave of someone whose the writing is all gone. The writing is all gone. Fancy headstone, but not as sturdy as Caroline. We have here a more modern grave, and this says, "In loving memory," let me read it. It says, "In loving memory of a dear husband, father, grand and great grandfather, Wendell Wenhard Mackenzie, November 6, 1940 to sunset September 23, 2017. So he is a recent grave. The grave of Wendell Mackenzie, 1940 to 2017. Beside Wendell here, we have here a grave that's not yet tombed. Nothing is on it to read. I don't think they have added any. No, there's nothing there to read, so we don't know who's that. Here at the resting place of Amy Mackenzie Gordon. Says, In loving memory of a dear sister, aunt, and grand aunt, Amy Mackenzie Gordon, sunrise August 2, 1914, sunset September 12, 2012. The resting place of Amy Mackenzie Gordon, 1914 to 2012. Wow, she was almost 100 years old. Almost 100 years old. Who knows? Maybe she's related to Wendell up there. They share the Mackenzie name. I'm sure this is an old tomb. Old tomb. That's the design of it. It says, in loving memory of Louise Thompson, born May 1912, died November 20, 1981, age 69. May her soul rest in peace. So this is the resting place of Louise Thompson, born 1912, died 1981. Louise Thompson. It's a nice grave though, nice grave. This grave is broken up, but you can see a lot of effort was put into it when at the time that the individual died. So let me see if I can read it. It says, I don't know, it's 1899, age 43 years. So this person died in 1899 at age 43. And I think it says something like, you can see this look like it says P, or says that be Pather, father. No, father. Oh yes. So it just say father. 1899, age 43. That's it. Somebody's father, 1899. Oh my God, that's such a long time. That's what, 126 years ago. So many individuals were standing here as this individual was being buried. And they put a lot of effort in this kind of headstone. But 126 years later, it's in ruin. There's nobody alive who was alive when that individual died. This looks like it was a grave. And it looks like the headstone here, it fell from up there. So let me see if I can lift it up. So it was up there and it fell. So there's a grave here where I'm standing. Only the headstone is peeking up. So let me see if I can read it here. It's a sacred memory. John Henry. So this is the resting, this is the headstone of John Henry. Let me see. Born the 21st of that look like September. September 21st of September. I can't make out that. There was a Henry who was involved in the building of the church. There was a Henry involved in the building of the church. But that's an old grave there. That's an old grave there. But the headstone, you see this tree that grew up over it and then it broke off. Beside John Henry, we see this grave. It says, in unfading memory of our dear mother and aunt, Mrs. Mary Williams, who departed this life the 13th July 1958 in her 80th year. May she rest in peace, sadly missed by daughter, son, and nephews. So to sum it up, this is the grave of Mary, Mrs. Mary Williams. She died on July 13, 1958, and she was 80 years old. The grave of Mrs. Mary Williams. So she died a long time, 1958. July 13, 1958. I think it's possible for persons who were at her funeral to still be around. I don't know, but there's a lot of truck passing through Porus. A lot of trucks. Alright, so here we are now. And this grave is still standing, unfortunately for Mr. Henry over there. John Henry. He's fell off. But here we are at the resting place here of, it says, in memory of Sibyl, let me get closer. Sibyl. Yeah, Cyril. No, Cyril. 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 Cyril Clark. Okay, Cyril Clark. Born July 24. Died when? When does he die? When did he die? I'm not sure. So this is the resting place of Cyril Clark. Cyril Clark. Hopefully I can find some records for Cyril. Look at this grave. You know, nicely designed, but over time it's wrecked. Says, loving memory of Thomas A. Dawkins, born March 4, 1868, died August 3, 1919, age 51 years. He died in Christ. Another truck. I'm telling you, these trucks. So this is the resting place of Thomas A. Dawkins, Born March 4, 1868, died August 3, 1919. 1919, that's the same year that Louis Bennett was born. Louis Bennett, the famous Jamaican poet, you know, that's the year she born, 1919. That's the year that Thomas Dawkins here died. This is the resting place of Olivia Hilton. She died young, way back in 1899. And here beside Olivia is a resting place of somebody. Not sure if I can read this. Doesn't appear readable. It says something like maybe Harriet. Let me see. I don't think I can make this out. So this person's grave is here. These are very old graves. Very old graves. In loving memory of Henry A. Dawson. Dawson. Some people say Dawson. I think it's Dawson. So Henry A. Dawson, born March 16th, 1872, died January 3, 19. What's that? That's 1927, age 55. Okay, so he was 55. He was born in 1872. He died at age 55. Free from the world's care. So this is the resting place of Henry A. Dawson. They carved his headstone really nice. It's lasting for a long time. They gave his grave this design. I guess they say nothing lasts forever. You need people who are gonna consciously say they are going to keep these graves up. Because if you have nobody who consciously say they're gonna keep these graves up, they're gonna fall apart. Here we have two graves joined together. You can see that they're joined together with one headstone, talking about the both of them. So let me read and hear what it says. All right, it says, sacred to the memory of Mom and Dad, Joseph A. Williamson, born August 8, 1884, died June 1974, age 90. So that is the dad. That's dad. Then below that you have Sarah A. Williamson, born December 1882, died January 1978, age 96. May their souls rest in peace. So this is the resting place of Mom and Dad Joseph A. Williamson and Sarah A. Williamson. They were husband and wife. You know, Sarah was older because you can see that she was born in 1882 and she died in 1978. And her husband, born in 1884 and died in 1974. So this is the husband and wife. I'm not sure which one is the husband, which one is the wife. But I'm going to assume that this is Joseph and then this is Sarah because they are buried from down there going up. Sacred to the memory of Caroline A. Daly. Did I read a Caroline earlier? Yes. Caroline A. Daly, who died the 14th of January 1964, age 86 years. So this is the resting place of Caroline A. Daly. She died on the 14th of January 1964 at age 84. Oh, that's the grave of Caroline Daly. And behind her is another Caroline. Sacred to the memory of Caroline, wife of wife of Jazz A. Daly, JP, who departed this life the 20th of September 1923, age 71. So this is the resting place of Caroline Daly. She died in September 20, 1923. Look at this grave. You can see that it was really beautiful back when it was just made. The headstone is tall and looking good. All right. This is the resting place of James Augustus. Hold on. Seeley. No, Daly. It's Daly. Okay, it's Daly. So, in loving memory of James Augustus Daly, who departed this life on the 15th of March, 1934, age 87 years. Okay, so if James Daly, that's James Augustus Daly, died in 1934 at age 87, then he could have been the husband, he could have been the husband of one of these Caroline Daly. Let's move on. This is the resting place of Rhoda Daly. Sacred to the memory of Rhoda T. Daly, who died the 21st of April 1954. This is the resting place of Rhoda Daly. Here we have a grave here. My God, it's all ruined. Just imagine the men who set these stones. Where are they? They have died a long time ago. This grave is probably back from the 1800s, by the 1890 something. Nothing to read on it. This person's memory is lost. We're looking at what appears to be an urnment, meaning that the individual was cremated and the urn placed in here. And it belongs to Alfred Johnson, January 12, 1922 to September 8, 2015. So Alfred lived a long time. Had he lived 7 more years, he would have been 100. Alfred Johnson. This is the resting place of, let's see whose resting place this is. Get those mangoes off this tomb. It says, in loving memory of Judith Murray, who departed this life the 26th June 1957. And below that it says, till the day dawn and the shadows flee. So this is Judith Murray. She died on June 26, 1957. Man, there's a lot of trucks passing. A lot of trucks just keep passing here and passing there. So you can see these graves are old graves, except the two all the way up there. But these are old. These are people who lived a long time ago. There's another grave right here. But again, just like this one, it's lost to time. The cut stone really built nice. You know, sometimes people steal these cut stone, you know. You can see the grave right there. It's all gone. This again, it was designed with a headstone right in here. I believe it was right in here. It fell out. I'm not seeing it anywhere to say I could take it up and read it. Behind it is also another grave. Nothing on it to read. Nothing on it to read. Maybe something was up here before it fell off. I don't know. And here we are at this grave. It says like somebody had come here and clean it and even paint up inside maybe some time ago. It says, in loving memory of our dear mother, Lee Comrie Bogle. That's Lee or Leah. I'm gonna say Lee, but maybe it's Leah. Lee Comrie Bogle. Born February 27, 1912. Died August 28, 1994. May your soul rest in peace. Okay, she died in 1994. In my mind, I thought it was gonna be older. So she was born 1912 and she died in 1994. Lee Comrie Bogle. Beside Lee, we have another Bogle. This must be her husband. It says, in loving memory of a dear husband and father, Charles Augustus Bogle, 1912 to 1984. So that's Charles Augustus Bogle. I believe this is the husband. And up here is the wife. The both of them were born in 1912, husband and wife. This grave is also designed with the same design. You can see up there. Same design. This is lovely because it protects it from the sun, protects it from the rain. I like the design of it. I've never seen this kind of design before. It says, in memory of a dear son and brother, Lennox C. Bogle, died the 10th December 1969, age 24. Lennox C. Bogle. He died young. He was just 24 years old. So Lennox, no doubt, Lennox is the son of these two people here, Charles and Lee. So you have mother, father, and son. This is the son. So they up there, Lee and Charles, they lost their son back in 1969 at just 24. Lennox Bogle. This one says, in loving memory of our dear father, Eugene M. Bailey. Man, these chucks, oh my God. Anyway, let me start this over again. In loving memory of our dear father, Eugene M. Bailey, born May 23, 1911, died January 18, 1994. May his soul rest in peace. So this is the resting place of Eugene M. Bailey. He died in 1994. As I'm standing here and I'm looking over at that property over there, I can see a lot of graves. I see a lot of graves, like it was a graveyard or something over there. A lot of old graves. See, a lot of old graves over there. But that's a private property. I could ask for permission to find out who's over there, but let me move on. I'm here for the church cemetery, the churchyard, not for somewhere else. All right. This look like it needs some wash off, but it's readable. In loving memory of Susan Adina Hyman. That's Susan. If it's not Adina, it's Adina. I'm gonna say Adina, but it may be Adina. Susan Adina Hyman. Nee Tyndale. So she was born Susan Adina Tyndale, and then she married in the Hyman family. She was born 1885. She died 1983. She was almost 100. 1885, 1883. Just two more years, Susan, and you would have been 100 years old. That's a long life. That is a long life. Now, I know it's Guinnep time. It's also Aki time. Aki. And I can see here that there are Aki on the tree. Aki. So here it is, Aki. It's part of Jamaica's national dish, the Aki. You can see here. And then beside it, we have the Guineps. Now, it's much easier to eat Guineps than to eat Aki. So I'm going to reach up and pick a Guinep here. It's a Guinep. Wow, and let me taste how this Guinep really tastes, right? Mm-hmm. Nice Guinep. Think I'm gonna take a bunch with me when I'm leaving. Nice Guinep. Let's continue. So we're here at the resting place of Herman. Well, I see Bailey at the top. You see, in loving memory of Herman Gale, 1909 to 1990. 1909 to 1990. He said, something else is written here. So that's Herman Gale, 1909 to 1990. It's very peaceful out here. I have to admit that. It's very peaceful out here. Quiet except for the traffic. You constantly see trucks and big vehicles passing by because people who are coming from Kingston and those places, they travel here, right? Or they have the highway. I don't know how the road works. But it's peaceful out here as far as I see it. Very peaceful over here. You know. Here's another grave here. There's nothing on it. You know. Something might have been on it, but it's all rubbed off. So this is the resting place of Luther Glenmore uncle. That's Luther Glenmore uncle. died January 27, 1970, age 26. Wow, he died young. So that's Luther Glenmore uncle, died January 27, 1970, at age 26. They came and they gave his grave some tiling. A 26-year-old person in 1970. In the year 2000, he would have been 56. 20 more years later, he would be 76. 5 years more. Oh Lord. He would have been something like 80 something. This is the resting place of let me see if I can figure this out. Doris Bailey. That's Doris Bailey. 1908 to what appears to be 1994. Doris Bailey. Boy, a lot of big vehicles pass through here, I'm telling you. We're here at the resting place of, what's this? This look like it says Una. I'm gonna say Una Tarrant. Born the 24th of the 12th, 1926. Died the 12th of the 7th, 1997. Always in our hearts, gone but not forgotten, sadly missed by son and family. Una Tarrant, 1926 to 1997. There's some more here. I'm gonna read this one up here. This grave is all grilled around, and there's nobody to clean it off. When the grave is grilled around, it means that people have put a lot of effort in it. But look at the grill, it's rusty. The grill is rusty, so they must have grilled it up a long time ago. Alright, hear what it says. Say, in loving memory of our dear mother and grandmother, Mrs. Mary Mason, born 1885, died the 14th November 1962. So Mrs. Mary Mason, she was born in 1885 and she died on November 14, 1962. So Mrs. Mary Mason, Mrs. Mary Mason, she lived to see Jamaica being independent. So let's look at it. She was born during the reign of Queen Victoria. 1885 we're talking about. So she born during the reign of Queen Victoria. She lived through the reign of King Edward's, George, the two George, right? Um, she did she lived? Yeah, she lived until till she saw the reign of Queen Elizabeth. Then she died when the year that Jamaica got independence. Long life, Mrs. Mason. Oh my God, this is looks so nice. Butterflies flying around, but there's also the bees. Are these bees? I don't think they're gonna sting. I don't want no bees stinging me or kissing me. I don't want my face to be swollen up while I'm out on the road. I don't think I'm gonna be able to read that. And there's one over there that looks readable, but let me go. It's very close to this one. So I'm at the side of the road here. It doesn't take long for you to see a truck passing by, you know. It does not take long at all. I wonder how they go all up there, all the way up there to put this cut stone. They did it though. They did it at a time when they didn't have some of the things we now call modern equipments. All right, let me see who's buried here. Remember? All right, I'm gonna pause. All right, so I managed to scrape away the dirt, and I see scrape away it, and now it says in loving memory of Art Neil Raphael Tarrant, who departed the 17th September 1985. And over the other side it say, may his soul rest in peace. Arth Neil, no, that's not Arth Neil, it's Arthnell. Arthnell Raphael Tarrant. He died in 1985. And his grave is grilled around with that over there, but I'm not gonna struggle to figure that out. The sun is getting really hot. Sun getting really hot. So I think I've read all the graves now, the ones that could be read. Here at Wesley Methodist Church, aka Porus Methodist Church. Is this church still active? I know it's active as a place people still keep funeral. I don't know. Do they have Sunday church? Because based upon what I see on the sign, it says that they have Sunday services. All right, my subscriber who requested this, you wanted me to come over here and read these graves. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I look forward to see you again in another interesting video like this. Let me look at this grave if I have read it. I don't think I've read this one. No, I did not. I turned away when I was coming towards it. This is the last one that I should have read. It says, in loving memory of A.J. Doc Anderson, 17th December 1905 to the 23rd December 1976. So he was born in December, he died in December. Mr. Anderson, I'm assuming it's Mr. A.J. Doc Anderson. He was born December 17, 1905, and he died December 23, 1976. Born in December, died in December. That's no surprise. I've seen individuals who have died on their birthday. Some died literally on their birthday, meaning that they born and then they die within hours. And then some died on the anniversary of their birthday, meaning that the day that you celebrate your birthday, that's the day you died. It's nice over here. All right, so from Wesleyan Methodist Church here in Porus, Manchester, I say thanks for watching, and I see you again in another interesting video like this.